Internal crisis at Red Bull and Verstappen's doubts. What once seemed like an unshakable fortress now reveals cracks exposed to the world. Red Bull is facing an internal crisis that goes far beyond behind-the-scenes tensions. Between power struggles, rumors of development issues with the RB20 and RB21 cars, and controversial strategic decisions, the environment that used to be Max Verstappen's paradise now feels like a minefield. And when even the reigning champion begins to reconsider his future, things are serious. What's happening inside Red Bull could completely rewrite recent Formula One history. The pressure within the team has escalated dramatically after the opening races of the 2025 season, as the RB21's performance disappointed both in qualifying and race pace. The comparison to the Racing Bull's car, yes, the B team, is painful, more stable, more efficient in low-speed corners, and with less tire degradation. That set off a major alarm. Verstappen, known for being outspoken, has started showing signs of frustration, and paddock rumors suggest he's already considering a team change before 2026. But what could drive a three-time world champion, dominant for 3 straight seasons, to even think about leaving? That's already taking on water. Frustration with team decisions. Max Verstappen is naturally competitive, and also impatient when he feels poorly thought-out decisions are putting his legacy at risk. That's exactly what happened after Red Bull swapped out one of its drivers just 2 races into the season. 2 Grands Prix. For Max, this wasn't just a change in the lineup. It was a clear sign that the team is lost, trying to cover the sun with a sieve instead of focusing on what truly matters, the technical development of the car. And when management starts acting on impulse, the driver begins to feel he's fighting the battle alone. This frustration gained traction behind the scenes when Verstappen started comparing the RB21's data with that of the competition. While Ferrari and even McLaren showed steady improvement, Red Bull kept chasing magic fixes with inexperienced drivers or those unfamiliar with the car. The message behind these decisions was worrying. Instead of investing in engineering, they were betting on miracles. And Max knows, as every champion does, that titles aren't won through improvisation, but through consistency. This kind of atmosphere directly affects the driver's trust in the team. Verstappen has made it clear throughout his career that he values consistency and long-term vision. That's what he had during Red Bull's golden years, when everything revolved around technical excellence. But when decisions start to feel impulsive, and the car is no longer the top priority, that emotional connection begins to break. Max isn't the kind to make a scene. He watches, analyzes, and when he makes a move, it's because he's already calculated every consequence. And right now, everything points to the fact that he's already running the numbers for 2025. Loss of key technical talent. When a Formula One car starts becoming difficult to drive, it's not just the wind or the asphalt to blame. It's a direct reflection of the technical structure behind it. And in Red Bull's case, the departure of key figures, especially Adrian Newey, the mastermind behind some of the most dominant machines in F1 history, left a void no one has managed to fill. The RB21, despite its championship pedigree, has turned into an unstable, demanding, and unpredictable car. A car that Max Verstappen now describes as less reliable than it looks on TV. This drop in performance isn't just the result of a bad season, it's the echo of a deeper shift in the team's philosophy. Newey wasn't just a designer, he was an architect of victories. Without him, the team seems to have lost its sense of direction. And to make things worse, other high-level engineers have also begun to leave in a domino effect, whether due to internal burnout or more attractive offers from rival teams. The result? An RB21 that's performing worse than the Racing Bull's car, which, ironically, is gaining attention for having a more stable foundation in aerodynamic development. This scenario is especially possible destinations, Mercedes or Aston Martin. If there's one thing Formula One has taught us over the years, it's that no one stays on top forever, and champions know when it's time for a change. Max Verstappen, as loyal as he's been to Red Bull, is beginning to look toward the horizon. And 2 doors are standing wide open, Mercedes and Aston Martin. While Aston offers a growing technical structure and direct support from Lawrence Stroll, it's Mercedes that shines as the most likely destination.
Why?
Because of its political strength, stability, and above all, the close relationship between Toto Wolff and Jos Verstappen. The departure of Lewis Hamilton was a silent earthquake that left room for something massive to happen. The seat is there, vacant, waiting for someone worthy of a legend. And Toto Wolff isn't just watching, he's moving. Behind the scenes, Mercedes is operating with rare confidence. They believe Max could be the perfect bridge between Hamilton's legacy and the future with Antonelli. Meanwhile, Aston Martin tries to entice him with promises of investment and technical freedom, but they still have to prove they can truly deliver a race-winning car. From a strategic perspective, Max going to Mercedes would make perfect sense. A winning culture, virtually unlimited resources, and a recent history of absolute dominance during the hybrid era. And more, Verstappen would race alongside a young talent like Antonelli, placing him in a clear leadership role with no unnecessary internal conflict. For someone who wants to keep winning and build a lasting legacy, Mercedes could be the perfect bridge. But the real question is Max ready to make that leap? Or is he still hoping Red Bull will regain its lost shine? Mercedes' full confidence for 2026. Toto Wolff doesn't shoot in the dark. When he speaks with certainty, it's because he's holding an ace up his sleeve. And when it comes to 2026, he's not just confident, he's taunting. In recent statements, he made it clear that Mercedes' new power unit is already a step ahead of the competition. He even compared their current preparation to that of 2014, when the team swept the grid with a dominant car and launched the hybrid era with historic superiority. That comparison wasn't random, it was a direct message to anyone thinking of changing the rules mid-game. While other teams show uncertainty and are lobbying for regulation changes ahead of 2026, Mercedes stands firm. Wolff even stated, "The ones complaining about the rules are the ones who don't have a competitive engine." A velvet glove slap behind the scenes. That kind of technical confidence is pure fuel for attracting someone like Max Verstappen, a driver who doesn't just want to win, but wants to be in the right car, at the right time, with a shot at dominating a new era. And if any team is projecting that possibility today, it's Mercedes. More than public statements, what really stands out is the German team's strategic silence about technical details. They're not selling promises, they're preparing a surprise. And when Toto flashes that half-smile, the kind that says he's seen the simulator numbers and liked what he saw, the paddock pays attention. Verstappen, ever the analytical mind, has picked up on that. And he might already be seeing in Mercedes the same scenario he once saw in Red Bull, the beginning of a new era of dominance. The difference now, he wouldn't just be a part of it, he'd be the architect of it. The politics behind the power units. Behind the scenes of Formula One, what happens off the track is often even more decisive. And right now, the hottest battle isn't between drivers, it's between teams and the FIA, centered on the engine regulations for 2026. Red Bull powertrains, still fine-tuning its structure to compete on equal footing with Mercedes, Ferrari, and Honda, is already showing signs of concern. Meanwhile, Toto Wolff watches from the sidelines and fires sharp jabs. Those who want to change the rules are the ones who didn't do their homework. That line had a target, and everyone in the paddock knows who it was aimed at. The political clash is heating up. F1 commission meetings have been tense, with Mercedes and Ferrari resisting any attempts to reopen discussions on regulations that have already been set. Toto Wolff knows that any changes now could jeopardize the advantage Mercedes has built years in advance. And it's no coincidence that, in recent months, rumors have surfaced about Red Bull struggling to hit key performance targets with their new engine. Exactly the kind of situation that might prompt a team to request a rule change. Mercedes, of course, doesn't want to hear a word of it. This tug-of-war behind closed doors is more than just a technical detail, it's a clear indicator of who's ahead in F1's political chess game. And Max Verstappen, who has always valued the technical side of the sport, is surely watching every move with surgical precision. He knows that in 2026, the engine could be the ultimate game-changer. And he also knows that if Mercedes is fighting to keep things exactly as they are, it's because they're ready to crush the competition. In a sport where advantages are built in silence, Toto's quiet smirks speak louder than 1,000 words. Toto Wolff's diplomatic stance. Toto Wolff is the kind of figure who never shows all his cards, but when he speaks, every word carries strategic weight. In public, he sticks to the diplomatic script, expressing full confidence in George Russell and showing excitement about Andrea Kimi Antonelli, the prodigy being groomed as the team's crown jewel. But behind the scenes, it's a different story. Since Hamilton's departure, Wolff has already held private talks with Jos Verstappen, and Max's name has been circulating heavily within Mercedes. This isn't speculation, it's real behind-the-scenes movement. Wolff knows that pairing Verstappen with Antonelli isn't just strategic, it's symbolic. It would be like passing the torch from one era of dominance to another, with Max stepping into the role of mentor and leader of a new chapter. And he's been leaving the door open, with carefully crafted statements that always include a "never say never." The mutual interest is there. And even though Max hasn't made any official statements, he hasn't hidden his curiosity about what Mercedes is building. In a sport as political as F1, those exchanged glances speak volumes. What's most intriguing is that despite the obvious maneuvering, Toto never breaks his facade of balance. He walks the fine line between respecting his current roster and quietly building his dream team. And that creates a delicious tension for those closely following the inner workings of the sport. After all, if the head of Mercedes is truly laying the groundwork for Verstappen, the 2026 narrative may already be taking shape, in subtle smiles, off-camera meetings, and late-night phone calls. The question is, will Max accept the invitation? So tell me this, are we witnessing the end of the Red Bull era? Is Max Verstappen really about to leave the team that turned him into a legend for a new silver dynasty? Or is all of this just backstage theater? The truth is, in Formula One, what seems impossible today becomes tomorrow's headline. And the signs are everywhere. You just have to know where to look. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the behind-the-scenes chaos and want to stay on top of the wildest twists in the paddock, you know what to do. Drop a comment below. Is Max leaving or staying? And which team will rule the new era in 2026? I'll be reading every single theory, so bring yours on. And of course, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because here on Race Suit, we bring you the side of F1 the broadcast never shows, with real insight, sharp analysis, and that pure passion for speed that every fan deserves. And trust me, this is just getting started.